All right. Whew. I know how you feel. I feel the same way, only you have an advantage. You're sitting down comfortable. If you feel like you got to get up and run around, that's okay. Go ahead and do that. I have no problem with that. That's fine. I might probably join you. Okay, let's again center our thoughts upon the soul that we thought about a few moments ago. And again, trusting God that by our testimony and by the grace of God and the testimony of others, that those that we love, those that we meet, may come to that saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Remember again, some plant, some water, some get the harvest. Where we are on that, I don't care. If I just plant, I'll plant. Sometimes I'll water, sometimes I'll get the harvest. But we all have a part in it. But the main thing is, on some, having compassion. Really caring for souls. Let's sing this little chorus again. Lord, lay some soul upon my heart. Love that soul in me. Granted, Lord, granted. Amen. Okay. We'll be out of here in about 25 minutes or so. Go through these. Just another aspect. This is a crash course. Normally I do this over weeks. I taught this over in New England in a summer course, in which, and I guess in about 6 or 8 weeks, they got a whole semester's worth of work done, but we met like 4 or 5 hours a night and covered a lot of material. Witnessing at work can be touchy. All right. Question. Should a Christian witness to their fellow workers during working hours? Well, so the answer is no. At least not in a way that's going to take away from your responsibility and your proper duties that you are assigned. See, Jesus answered it this way in Luke 20:25. And he said unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which be Caesar's, and unto God the things that be God's. And that is a good precept to follow here. The best way to witness at work is by your life. Be the best worker. Don't grumble, don't complain, don't badmouth. Just be a good worker there. How can we apply this verse to our life? Well, you're being paid to do a job at work. You are on their clock. And they expect you to do your job on their time for the pay that they're giving you. Now, there may be occasion or two where it may be against your conscience to do something. When I say conscience, I mean conviction. Not that you don't like doing it. And maybe you might have to refuse. I remember one time my roommate and I had a job for a small delivering company with a pickup truck. You buy a chair, we deliver the chair to your house. Just a small type thing. And one time the boss came to us and said, Mac, man, you gotta go down to this bar room, pick up 4 kegs of beer, and deliver them over there. I looked at him, he looked at me, and we said, sir, with all respect, I says, we can't do that. I said, we're just not comfortable and willing to do that. And he said, well, you'll do it or you'll get fired. I said, I guess you'll have to fire us. He said, well, I respect what you believe, but I got to get these kegs delivered. Fine. So now we had no job. A couple of weeks went by. I had no meal ticket to eat in the cafeteria of the school because I couldn't afford a meal ticket. And so you get hungry after 2 or 3 weeks of just picking what you can get here and there, you know? And finally, we were walking by a used car Cadillac dealer, new and used. And we noticed a lot of those nice, beautiful Cadillacs were dirty. And one of them, somebody took their finger on the side and says, "Wash me," in the dirt. And we went inside and said, "Who owns this?" It says, "That's Mr. DeMollet." And his office is down there. It says, Mr. DeMollet, you don't know us, but we're Bible students up here at the seminary. And we're just walking by, and we noticed you got these beautiful cars, and they're so dirty. I said, "If you don't mind, we'd like to wash them for you, and maybe to help you sell them." He says, "Okay." So we washed them, and he gave us like $25 cash, right? We were just washing a few cars. He says, "Hey, fellas, you come back tomorrow." So we come back the next day. Again, 25. Boy, first place we went was McDonald's. There's no doubt about it. Supersize me. And this turned into a regular pattern. But I'm just trying to say, if you live your convictions, God will take care of you. And boy, you know what it's like. And then the owner said, "Look, you're doing good washing." Said, "Look, we want to move you along here." He says, "Customers need to have their cars picked up, serviced, and delivered back. Would you be comfortable driving these Cadillacs?" Oh yeah. So here we were, and because I always found a way to go by the college campus. Yeah, and all those beautiful, brand new, shiny Cadillac dealers. But basically, when you're at work, your employer owns you. That's what it is. I mean, we respect that. Now, if somebody says, at your lunch hour, you're on your own. After work, before work starts, you're on your own. But witnessing on the clock is not a good testimony. So we have to be careful that we walk a fine line here. Let's just see here. He said, "Well, we got to do the Lord's work." Yes, but we do the Lord's work the Lord's way. And that we have to understand. So we need to show respect to our, and that respect will have them respect you, and then listen when you do have a chance to tell them about Jesus Christ. And just like at work, inviting people to come. Now that's fine. Don't take much time. You're not stopping your changing tires or whatever you do and opening the Bible and showing him that but he respects that. They're good workers. The greatest compliment you could have is, "Look, I don't know Christian or what they are or not, but I'll tell you, they were good." And that's the best testimony you can have. They'll listen when you do tell them about Jesus, then you see there. And just be a light in the workplace there, because they are so needful to know Christ, but they need to see it real in your life. And that's why, again, Matthew 5:16 on the second page in the backside, "Just let your light shine, that they may see your good works." Okay? And having your conversation among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify God in the day of visitation. And so they can say, "Well, I don't like him, but boy, he's a good worker. Well, I don't like what he's talking about, but he's a good worker, and he's friendly, and he's nice, and I like him." Okay, so we do need to be careful in our witnessing at work. Anybody have any experiences with this or anything you'd like to add to something like this? You can read all of this. Like I said, I didn't print this out to read it to you. You can read it later on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think the important thing you do when they come to you for such things, like you let them know what you do. Like as in, don't be afraid to tell them
Mm-hmm.
that I go to. That's another. They are curious. Again, at that point, not right now during work, but
because you don't want to be interrupted either. Here you are witnessing to him and everything, and maybe he's the point of being saved, and the boss comes, "Hey, get back to work," and then it just blows the whole thing, you know. So that's a good point, Jenna.
Agree with anything I'm saying.
Yeah,
Just the way that you.
that's good. That's my cupcake. I don't care when she gets to be 70 years old, she's still gonna be my cupcake. Okay, but that's it. That's a testimony. When people come to, that's by your actions, by your life, good attitude that you have, and that goes for every place. Okay, that last page there, a summary: actions speak louder than words, and that we've covered many times in home situations and everything else. You can undo everything you say by your actions, you know, and just make an impact where you're at, and let them go to bolder steps during lunchtime or after work there, okay? But always keep a positive attitude and be kind, no matter what. Be kind. There was I used to work at where ESPN now is. It used to be years ago Superior Electric. And I was working there, and we were making generators for Vietnam. And we had to work a lot of long hours. And guys were grumbling, and guys were coming. I was glad for it because I needed the money for school. So I was really, you know, glad for it. But time came when they had superseded their quota for the military, and they just laid a lot of people off. And I was one of them because I was only temporary during the summer, so we got hit first. And he says, "Well, what are you going to do now, Christian?" I said, "Same thing I always do. I'm going to thank God for taking care of me." He says, "You kidding me? You just lost your job and you're going to thank God?" I said, "Yeah, because he's still God." And he's promised to take care of me. He says, "Man, I never met anybody like you." I said, "Well, it's not me that matters. You got to meet Jesus. He's the one you ought to meet. He's the one you need to meet." So be careful at the workplace. Yes, do good testimony if you can, and it's allowed. And you can have a little Christian saying on your desk or a Christian calendar. That's allowed. That's fine. If they say no, that's it. Take it down. Then take it down. Don't say, "Oh, I got to write as a Christian and put this calendar up." Just you don't need a controversy like that. You made your point. They know you're a Christian. They say. We go down to Webster Bank right here, just down the street. And there's a girl that works in there, and she's a Christian. And sometime I'll go in the window, and she's working at the counter, and there's a different person at the window. And I say, "Say hello to my sister over there." Now, she's a black lady. And I said, "Say, she's your sister?" "Sure enough, ask her." And we pray for her, and she knows it. One time we're in a bank, she says, "I want to thank you folks so much." And she left where she was. Remember, she came out of the bank, out of it, through the door, and gave my wife a big hug. That's just a testimony. Nobody else was bothered by it, you know. But again, other people saw that, you know, in there. So at the workplace, just be careful. But nobody can stop you from living as a Christian in a workplace, and indeed you should. Okay, let's get into that last segment. This is handling objections. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. We're just going to go down, and we'll get you out one as we have said. Daniel? Oh, here you go.